Jaheim Singletary, man, he's got a lot of single digits in by his name when it comes to position and ranking and national ranking. Second rated player in Florida, number 5 cornerback in the nation, close to a top 10 player in the nation, according to the composite. So we've got our guy Gage asking about the possibility that he flips and chooses Miami.
No. I mean, I can give more narrative on that, but, we've had guys who are committed to Miami, and then O-State has come down here and then flipped them. You had Johnny Dixon. You had the Marcus Clark kid, the running back who Miami was first on. Like nobody else was on him like that. Get him committed, had a first team All-State season, honorable mention All-American as a senior. And then he's just like, yeah, no, cool. I'm going to go up there to that school. And no, I don't see that happening. I would love to be wrong, but Jaheim Singletary, I do not see Miami flipping him at all.
Thomas would like to know, certainly letting us know that he loves watching the show. We appreciate that. Either of you going to the Miami-Alabama game, which I am not.
No.
Okay.
I mean, the only thing that would take me up there, because I'm sure that I could finesse my way into a ticket or, I could find my way there. Only if my good friend Phil Jones, shout out to Phil, if I go up there to go see my play nephew, his kids and everything, that would be the only thing. Take a long weekend, go chill with the homie, and his family. That would be it. I would tie that together, but I'm going to have a good view of that from wherever I watch it down here is what I think. And I'm almost a little once bitten, twice shy because LSU in Dallas, remember we did the whole thing, had the meet and greet. I went out there way early because my mother lives outside of Dallas. So, I did that whole thing and that whole game. And that did not meet my expectation or excitement. So I don't know if I want to go and do that again.
Yeah, not a pretty outcome against LSU in that season opener. Chuck Mobeer, appreciate that so much. Hello, Mark. Cam, great show as always. 2 shows, 1 day. Great. Smash the like button. You family, let's go Canes. Appreciate that, Chuck Mobeer, who's always here for us. All right. Alabama, week 1. I think you're pretty much in the same camp that I am in regards to the competitiveness, expectation of competitiveness in this game, that it's not some crazy, these teams don't belong on the same field, anything like that. Alabama is decidedly the better team, the more talented team, has the program in place, the coaching staff, the head coach, all that stuff. But it's not, it's most likely the best team in the country against the 15th best team in the country. It's not, there's 130 teams playing FBS football, and Alabama's going to line up against the New Mexico States of the world a week or 2 after that, and they're going to, lay it on at whatever pace they want to. They can name the score. So if it's 56-3, it could have been 90-3. Right. So it's yes, it is a huge mountain to climb. It's substantial. It's not expected, but there's going to be a lot of NFL players on that field on both sides. All right. So how do you possibly gauge or alter your opinion and expectation of this game between now and then when we don't have preseason football, outside of injury, some crazy injury that would alter the competitive aspect?
No, that was going to be my thing. It's going to be injuries or something like that. And the expectation, obviously, I want to compete, respect all opponents and fear none. I know you've heard me say that a lot, but I mean, if there's an opponent to be feared, it's Alabama right now, because that's a monster. That's a monster program. That's a monster team. And they're very, very talented at every position. They just have 5-star after 5-star after 5-star after high 4-star after All-American after All-Conference after, just everywhere that you look. You get, incredible transfers. Jamison Williams and Henry To'o both go there, to help round out their roster, which, they've been recruiting at such an incredible level. It's remarkable that, they still are just at the top of the roster, just saying, I don't have just that first round draft pick at linebacker right now, because the one that I have is 2 years away from being a first round draft pick, but I don't have a current cycle first round draft pick. To'o, come on down from Tennessee. I don't have this guy, Jamison Williams, come on down. And it's just you're plugging and playing, and it's like they're already recruiting at a level that's never been seen before. And now they're in the transfer portal to a level that, the only other team that really has had the kind of success that they're looking for in the transfer portal has been Miami. But you're even taking what Miami's done in the transfer portal and you're leveling that up. It's a daunting task, but you're going to have to we have to focus on ourselves. We have to do what we need to do and mitigate the errors, because their speed and their physicality from Alabama will force you into errors. It's the exponential growth version of what St. Thomas Aquinas does in high school football down here. And everybody thinks that they just score 95-yard touchdowns every time. That's not how Aquinas beats you. They score because they're going to give you the ball first. They're going to stop you. They're going to score. You're going to try to return the next kickoff. You're going to trip and get stumbled and down at the 8-yard line. You're going to have 3 negative plays. You're going to get a punt block. They're going to score again. It's 14-0. You're going to take the next kickoff back to the 20. Then you're going to have a punt that gets tipped. Now they're on the 35. Now they scored again, and it's 21-0 halfway through the first quarter, and they've only gone the full field maybe one time. But any error that you make, they're going to capitalize on. That's what Aquinas has done for years. Go look at the scores. Go talk to other people who watch high school football down here. They're not usually just marching up and down the field because their defense and special teams are so monstrous that they don't have to go but 20, 30 yards. And here, over the course of time, with the talent that they have and the size that they have on their roster, a 30-yard field, you might hold them to a field goal. But how many times in a 30-yard, 20-yard short field situation with your high school defense are you keeping Aquinas out of the end zone? Probably not much. But now if you take that and you blow that up on the next scale, right, where you have not just the best high school, not the kids in your town area, but the best kids from around, anywhere, that's what Alabama does. They're going to take that pass. They're going to beat your left tackle around the corner. They're going to pick that pass off. They're going to run it back for 6. They're going to Jalen Waddle. Look at all those punt returns and things. It can even be 70 or 80 yards, but again, you're punting from your own 20-yard line to get it to their 25-yard line. Then you got a guy who was ranked behind Mark Pope coming out of high school in the same class, right? Who's the most electric wide receiver in America, an incredible return man. Now all of a sudden you're down 7-0. You punt it to him and you think it's down on their 20-yard line. There's no way. All of a sudden you're queuing up the band because he's through the whole 11 guys and then boom, right? So that's what Alabama does to you. If you have any kind of weakness, they're going to attack that. They're going to take that away, or take away what you do well, and they're going to hammer what you do poorly, or you can't stop, or can't block, or haven't schemed for, or whatever. So for Miami, it really comes down to the preparation since last year of what the scheme is going to be, because we've seen Manny Diaz teams be ill-prepared for big moments and coming off of bye weeks. So hopefully we have something, and we have the physical presence to withstand what's coming from the other side, because they got some big dudes and some fast dudes everywhere. And we have to deal with that, And I know that, look, we got big dudes and fast dudes too. We don't have as big or as many or as fast, but we're not a team to be trifled with. But we have to really, at every opportunity, we have to hit that play. We have to make that tackle. We have to get that sack. Like, there cannot be 2017 ACC championship game, play action to Jeff Thomas. You can't miss it. If that kind of scenario, that similar play in this Alabama game happens, you have to hit that throw. You have to catch that ball. You can't drop it. You can't fumble it. You can't get raked through with the arms. I don't care. But you have to make that play. You know, all those sacks that Gregory Rousseau had where the quarterback almost got away, but that was a sack. I need all of those almosts to be sacks. That's why he had 15 and a half that year and not 7. All the almosts for Rousseau ended up with the quarterback on the ground. That finishing ability for those plays, that's what needs to happen. So that is where the path is for Miami. Now, we'll see if we can do that. We can see if, to this point, it's going to take the game of their life from every coach and every player, period. It's going to take that. I don't know if Miami has that in them. And I'm interested to see if we can raise the level so that we have that kind of performance. But that's where we have to be pointing. And if it looks like we're not pointing there, it comes back to a conversation we had a couple weeks ago. Are you playing to be competitive or are you playing not to get blown out? Because if you have that prior scenario, that St. Thomas Aquinas score, stop, special teams score, stop, right? Now it's, do I still go this play action? Do I do this trick play to really, or do we run a stretch play here and slow the tempo down? And it's just a lot of things. And, you know, we're going to see how this team really responds, because if you aspire to be better than what you are, this is a game where you need to find a way to be competitive. And there's teams who have had worse performances in years recently who have been very competitive with Alabama, you know, maybe even through 3 quarters, maybe halfway through the 4th quarter. But we've seen not great teams be competitive. If you want to be a good or a great team, the floor for this performance needs to be competition with Alabama, if not actually stressing them into this 4th quarter and midway and deep into it to be a score or 10 points away with the ball. Something like that, that would be probably best case scenario for me. And I know that I waxed long and poetic on that, but that's kind of where my brain is heading through this summer into the Alabama game.
Oh, that's beautiful. My thought is that teams of Alabama's ilk, which right now they're the only one. So for as much as we talk about Clemson, Ohio State, and maybe Georgia, and maybe Oklahoma being the elite, really they're the elite, but Alabama's a cut above. So Alabama played 10 SEC games last year. Ole Miss pushed them more than anybody else. But again, given week, whatever, I think a school and a program like Alabama gets laser focused when the spotlight is on, and maybe they were caught a little bit off guard. I'm not taking anything away from Ole Miss, but it was a tie game with 6 or 7 minutes left. Florida on the scoreboard gave them the best game, but Florida pretty much had to make this mad dash in the 4th quarter to try to catch them, and they were really never, it was really never threatened. They made a great, valiant effort to get there and technically could have pulled out the win, but it wasn't that kind of 52-46 game that you saw on the scoreboard.
Right.
Alabama took an Ohio State team that just beat Clemson by 3 touchdowns, and both teams were compromised by injuries, and I'm going to say equally, although I think Ohio State didn't have the depth to compensate a Trey Sermon or their best guard who just got taken in the 2nd round of the NFL draft, where Alabama just plugged in the next guy, even to a degree beyond Ohio State what they can do, and they whipped them. So you're taking the elite and you're saying Alabama's even they're elite, that good.
Leader. Yeah. And that's the level that they're operating on right now, to be perfectly honest.
They just play 10 SEC games, no cream puffs, and they roll through that schedule and the playoffs and the championship game. And I know that they've lost a bunch of NFL talent, but they do every year.